Hey everyone, welcome to a deep dive that'll get you moving and grooving, but not in the way you might think.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Today we're taking on Depression Hates a Moving Target, the book by Nita Sweeney that combines her personal story with really practical advice on using movement to, kind of outsmart depression.
Yeah, like almost like a 1-2 punch.
Exactly. We're going to pull out all the great advice that can help you see how even small actions, tiny things you do, can make a difference in how you feel mentally.
That's what's so cool about this book. Nita doesn't just tell you to exercise. She digs into the why, like why it works and how it works. She blends her own experiences with real science. You're not just getting a motivational speech, you're getting a real plan you can use.
Okay, so let's break down one of the biggest ideas in the book, movement as medicine.
Love that.
Nita says depression can make you feel trapped, like you're stuck in this mental rut. But what she found was that just moving, even something simple like a walk, can get you going again. Not just your body, but your mind too. Have you ever noticed that? Like how a quick walk can change your mood.
Happens to me all the time. And it's not just a feeling. When you move, your brain actually releases these chemicals called endorphins. And those endorphins, they make you feel good. And not just that, exercise also helps to lower those stress hormones like cortisol that can really bring you down when you're already feeling depressed.
So it's like a double whammy, right?
Yeah. And get this. Studies have shown that for some people, exercising regularly can work just as well as medication in treating mild to moderate depression.
No way. That's amazing. It really shows how connected our minds and bodies are.
Totally.
But here's the thing, and this is really important. Nita emphasizes that you don't have to turn into a marathon runner to benefit. She actually warns against trying to be perfect.
Oh, yeah. That's huge, especially for those of us who struggle with depression. Like if you set those goals way too high, you're basically just asking to feel let down. Think about it. You plan to run 5 miles, but only do 2. If you're a perfectionist, you'd just focus on those 3 miles you didn't run, and that just gets you down. But NEAT is all about celebrating those 2 miles you did do. It's about being kind to yourself and realizing that making progress is what matters, not being perfect.
That makes so much sense. I know I've been there, feeling like I'm not doing enough, not pushing myself hard enough.
I think we've all been there.
But what if just moving however you can is already a win?
That's the whole point. And that leads us right into another key idea from the book, building good habits. And we're not talking about changing your entire life overnight.
Baby steps.
It's about adding in small, consistent things you do every day, like taking a 10-minute walk. It might not seem like a big deal, but over time, those 10 minutes really add up, and you start to see a positive change in how you feel mentally and emotionally.
So little things can really make a big difference over time.
Totally.
Nita has some great advice on how to make that happen. She says to put movement on your schedule, just like you would a meeting or appointment. Or find a friend to exercise with, someone to keep you accountable and motivated. Did any of her tips really jump out at you?
You know what really stuck with me? She says it's got to be enjoyable. Find something you actually look forward to doing, whether that's dancing or swimming or hiking or even just walking in nature. It's about listening to your body and doing what feels good to you.
Yeah, that's key. And this ties into the idea of mindfulness, something Nita explains in a way that's really easy to understand. Now, I know mindfulness can sound kind of, I don't know, out there.
Like too spiritual or something.
Yeah, but think of it as a way to just pause those racing thoughts, especially the negative ones that can really spiral when you're feeling down. How would you describe the link between being mindful and moving?
Okay, so picture this. You're on a walk. Instead of getting lost in all those thoughts, you focus on the feeling of your feet hitting the ground, your breath going in and out, the things you see and hear around you. It's not about emptying your mind completely. It's more about shifting your attention to how your body feels as you move. It's a way to break free from those repeating negative thoughts and kind of regain some control over your mental state.
It's like you're giving your mind a vacation from all that overthinking and bringing it back to right now.
Exactly. And the cool thing is you can practice mindfulness with any type of movement. You can even do it right now, just sitting here. Feel your feet on the floor, the gentle rise and fall of your chest as you breathe.
Okay, let's all take a deep breath and recap what we've learned. We talked about how movement can help fight that feeling of being stuck that comes with depression, how it's about making progress and not being perfect, and the importance of building those small, enjoyable habits. And we touched on how adding mindfulness into your movement can help you shift your focus and find some calm.
That's a great summary.
And it all points to that incredible connection between our minds and bodies. Nita's message is clear. Your body isn't just carrying your thoughts and feelings around, it's a big part of your overall well-being. When you take care of your physical self, you're taking care of your mental and emotional health too.
Like they're a team.
Right. It's like she's saying, hey, your body's on your side. And that's a good reminder that self-care isn't selfish, it's necessary.
Couldn't agree more.
Ready to uncover some more of Nita's insights?
Absolutely. There's still so much more to talk about, especially when it comes to celebrating those little victories and being kind to ourselves. And that's stuff that can really make a difference when you're dealing with the ups and downs of depression. Welcome back to our deep dive into Depression Hates a Moving Target. You know what really got me about this book?
What's that?
How honest Nita is. Like, she doesn't try to hide the tough parts of what she went through. It's really refreshing.
Yeah, you can totally relate to it. It's not like she's pretending it's always easy. She's real about the struggles, which makes her whole message about movement and self-care even stronger.
Totally. It's
Yep.
like, because she's been there, you believe her when she says moving can help you feel strong. But she kind of flips the script on what we think of as strength and resilience.
You mean how we usually think of strength as this, like, unbreakable thing, like you just push through no matter what?
Yeah. But Nita's view is different.
Hmm.
She says real strength is about knowing when you're vulnerable. It's asking for help when you need it and being kind to yourself, especially when things are rough. It's more about the long game, being able to get back up even if you fall down.
And that's where self-compassion comes in, right? It's like instead of beating yourself up or having a bad day, skipping a workout, you treat yourself with kindness, like you would a friend.
Exactly. And Nita gives you real advice on how to actually do that, even when you're feeling depressed. She says one thing is to pay attention to how you talk to yourself. Like, notice the words you use. Are they harsh? Critical? Would you ever talk to a friend that way?
Ooh, that's a good point. It's so easy to get stuck in those negative thoughts, especially when you're already feeling down.
It is. But noticing it is the first step. Once you see those patterns, you can start changing them. Like, instead of saying, I can't believe I missed my workout again, I'm so lazy, try saying something like, it's okay that I didn't exercise today. I'm feeling tired, and that's all right. I'll try again tomorrow.
So it's about remembering you're human, you're allowed to have off days, and that beating yourself up isn't going to help you reach your goals.
Nope, it won't. And this connects to another big idea from the book. Mental health is a journey, not a destination. It's not about getting to some perfect point where you're suddenly cured.
Yeah, like flipping a switch.
It's about making choices every day that help you feel better. Some days will be good, some days not so good, and that's okay.
It's so important for people to hear that. There's so much pressure to just get over it or be positive. But Nita gets it. She knows living with depression is real.
Right. And it takes the pressure off. You're not trying to reach some impossible goal. You're just focusing on doing what you can one step at a time.
And those small wins along the way, those really do matter. Like Nita says, even just getting out of bed and taking a 5-minute walk is a victory when you're struggling.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And celebrating those small wins can make a big difference. It can lift your mood, make you feel more confident, and motivate you to keep going. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection.
And that brings us back to the mind-body connection, something we talked about earlier. Nita doesn't just tell us about it, she shows us how it works.
Right.
For sure. One example that really stuck with me is when she talks about how movement actually changes our brain chemistry. Like when you exercise, your body releases those endorphins we talked about. They make you feel happier. And it helps lower those stress hormones that can make you feel down. So it's not just about feeling good because you did something. It's like there's a real change happening in your brain when you move.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really cool. Nita mentions studies that show for some people, exercising regularly can be just as effective as medication for treating mild to moderate depression. Pretty amazing, right?
Wow. So it's like movement can actually be a type of medicine, not just something we do to look good or lose weight.
It totally can be. And think about it. Exercise can also help you sleep better, have more energy, and even think more clearly. All of that has a positive impact on your mental health.
It's like a chain reaction. You start moving and all these other good things start happening too. It supports your well-being in so many ways.
And the best part is,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be crazy workouts or intense training. Nita's all about finding what works for you, whether it's dancing, gardening, swimming, or just taking a walk in nature. The important thing is to find something you enjoy that you can stick with.
And that's when the real magic happens, right? When moving becomes something you love, not just another thing on your to-do list.
Exactly. It's about shifting your perspective and seeing movement as a gift, not a punishment. And that leads us to another important thing. Nita talks about the power of connection. But we'll dive into that in the last part of our deep dive.
And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into Depression Hates a Moving Target. We've been covering so much good stuff about movement and how it helps on mental health.
And as we wrap this up, there's one more tool that Nita talks about in her book that I think is super important.
What's that?
Connection.
Connection. Okay, now we've talked about connecting our minds and bodies through movement, but what other kinds of connection does she get into?
Well, she talks about how running with a group was like a game changer for her.
Yeah.
It helped her fight those feelings of being isolated and lonely that can come with depression.
Yeah, I get that.
It gave her this feeling of belonging, like she had a purpose and she wasn't alone in this.
That makes so much sense. When you're feeling down, it's easy to just shut yourself off from everyone. But reaching out and connecting with people, even if it's hard at first, can be really powerful.
And there's actual science behind it. Studies show that being social and feeling like you're part of a community can have a big positive impact on your mental health.
So if you're struggling with depression, maybe it would help to find ways to connect with others who get what you're going through. Could be joining a running club, a hiking group, a yoga class, or even an online support group. What are some other things people can do to build those connections?
It doesn't have to be a formal group thing. Sometimes it's as simple as inviting a friend to go for a walk, or calling a loved one, or even just chatting with someone at the coffee shop. It's those little moments of connecting with another person that can make your day better and remind you you're not alone.
What about connecting with yourself? I remember Nita talked about how mindfulness practices like meditation and journaling helped her understand her own thoughts and feelings better.
Oh, yeah, that's so important.
Yeah.
Knowing yourself.
Yeah.
You know, when you understand your own patterns, your triggers, how you cope with things, you're in a better position to handle the tough parts of depression. It's like you're building your own mental health toolkit.
Okay, so as we come to the end of our journey with Depression Hates a Moving Target, let's go over the main things we've learned. We explored the idea of movement as medicine, the importance of focusing on progress, not perfection, the power of creating healthy habits, and how mindfulness and connection can really change things.
It's been quite a journey.
If you could leave our listeners with one last thought, one piece of wisdom from this whole deep dive, what would it be?
If you're feeling stuck, if depression is making you feel like a target, remember that movement in any way you can do.
Yeah.
It can be your superpower. It can help you take back control, see things differently, connect with yourself and others, and rediscover the joy of just being in your body.
What a great way to put it. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you've learned some valuable things and feel inspired. Until next time, keep exploring, keep moving, and keep believing in your own ability to heal and thrive.